Alright guys, it's good to be back, but we've got some explaining to do. So I know we didn't put out a video last week, and that's because we haven't had our bus for about, is this day 12?
I think so.
Yeah. We haven't had our bus for 12 days now. So the bus has been at the shop and we just haven't had it with us. We asked them if we could make an appointment and they said no.
The fuel sensor is getting fixed for the second time.
I just hope it works this time and that it actually sticks. If not, I think we're just resigned to counting miles. Like, we don't mind just keeping an eye on the odometer. At this point, we just want our bus back. So we're headed to go pick it up right now. So big surprise, it's still not fixed. They said they have no idea what's going on, but we're just ready to take our bus home, so that's what we're gonna do.
All right, got the keys back. This has been a rough week.
It has. We've really missed having our bus.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, we didn't put out a video last Monday because our bus was in the shop, and we just got it back today, a whole week later. So we really don't have much time this week, but we're gonna try to get some stuff done. We need to start prepping the garage area to put our water pumps and water lines and such. So we're gonna be doing that, and we're also gonna mount our water tank. We're kind of too far into this to learn how to weld, so this is actually gonna be a weld-less install.
Should be interesting. And then I also want to work on creating our custom window coverings, so I'm going to get as far as I can with that.
Alright, let's make the most of this week. The last time we have to sweep the garage. Well, not really, but
last time we'll see this plywood.
last time we'll see the plywood, yep. Hopefully, if I cut everything right. It's alright. We're getting there.
It looks like pretty good.
Does it look good on camera?
I could see the bumps look bigger on camera, honestly.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they look pretty big in person, too. Alright. I'm gonna get to work and try to even out some of this.
Alright, so we got the bus back and I'm trying to get kind of in my groove again. It's been a little while, but happy to be back out here. I think the first thing I need to do is get rid of these covers and the tape that I put over the window to stain and poly the trim. And then I'm going to get into some painting. So I'm all in my painting clothes and I'm ready to go. It's going to be a good week.
I'm bringing you underneath the bus to kind of show my progress. I put 2 up so far, and I think I'm kind of hitting the groove. I'm cutting each of these to length to attach to the I-beams. So basically what we've done is we've bought some C-channel struts. They almost look like angle irons, but they're in the C shape. We buy those and we're mounting them to the I-beams underneath the bus. And I'm doing this so that we can run a large like 12-inch bolts all the way down, and then we'll have another set of channel struts on the bottom that will basically clamp and sandwich the water tank inside. It's a little hard to see right now, but I'll show you the progress and I'll show you hopefully what it looks like later. I clamp one of these up, and then luckily this bus already has holes for some reason on the corners, so I don't have to pre-drill any holes. So I throw some bolts through there, and then I drill another hole in the middle and throw another bolt up just for extra support. It might be a little hard to show on camera, but the reason I wanted to put these channel struts in the middle, even though we could just clamp the water tanks to the I-beams that are, you know, part of the bus, was that every so often there's like this extra metal support piece that comes down, and it's just too rough and it would block the water tank from being like flush with the bottom of the bus. So these work great by dropping the water tank about 1.5 inches. It should keep the sharp metal edge away from the plastic water tank.
I have been painting like crazy. I painted the inside of that cabinet at the front, and then the wall that Jimmy put up last week, and then I went and touched up the entire ceiling because the wood putty that we used for the screws holding in the shiplap bleeds through, and so there were a ton of yellow spots. There's also a few spots where we were squishing bugs against the ceiling. I just went through and touched all that up with fresh paint. I hope that the putty doesn't bleed through again, but if it does, at least we tried.
So good morning, guys. Well, it's actually the afternoon, but I didn't pick up the cameras this morning. We just came out here early to try to get some more work done. It was getting a little late last night and a little too dark to film, but I did finish putting up the middle water tank. It's completely mounted. I like it. It's in a good position. I'm gonna add a couple straps to it just to kind of prevent it from wobbling out. I'm a little nervous about the bolts vibrating out over time, but I think it's just something I'll have to keep an eye on. So this morning I worked on setting up the second area where I'm gonna mount the second tank, and I think I'm gonna start working on installing that one.
We're back out here working on the bus again. So I sewed this, which just kind of looks like a black bag right now, but I'm planning on using this as a window covering above this kitchen sink, and I cut out some Reflectix to go in it. I'm just going to trim down the Reflectix a little bit more and then slip it inside of here and see how it works out. I'm also totally done with staining and polying these hardwood pieces for the other part of the window covering. I think this will work. Alright, this isn't done yet, but check this out. I have the window covering right here with the Reflectix in it, and it fits behind the cabinet into the wall. And we planned for this, but we weren't exactly sure if it was going to work how we wanted it to, and I think it's going to be okay, because I'm going to try to pull it up from here. In the final version, we're going to have a butcher block countertop and a backsplash up here that goes up several inches, so you won't see this. All you'll see is that wooden trim piece, because we'll attach it to the top of this, but you should just be able to pull it up, and we'll have hooks up here so it'll stay in place. It looks like this is going to work. I think I just need to finish this prototype and then work on the rest of the windows. I'm excited though. This is really cool. I wasn't sure if it was going to fit or if it was going to work, but it looks good so far. So it's only been a few minutes, but we're already going to have to change direction on this because I opened the fish and eye hooks that I ordered from Amazon, and the fish hooks look great. The eye hooks, on the other hand, are ridiculously small. They're like tiny. I didn't know they could be this small. It's actually kind of cute, but I don't want to have to work that hard to get the hooks to work. So Jimmy had a cool idea of just using 2 fish hooks and interlocking those, because I don't want it to be like a feat of dexterity to have to put up our window coverings every night. So we're just gonna try to move forward with just the fish hooks.
So this part's going to be a little bit different than how I've been mounting the other one. The middle one, I put the C-channel struts on the bottom and the top, but for this side tank, I'm basically going to flush mount it to the bus, since this side doesn't have any of those metal supports that come down that would dig into the tank. So it's actually making this side go a little bit faster, since I don't have to worry about mounting the channel strut up here. That'll give us a couple extra inches where the tank won't be so low to the ground.
All right, so I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that our spider traps are not working very well, but the good news is that our window coverings are. So I have the first one up. This was the prototype. I wanted to make one all the way through just to make sure that it's really what we want to do, because there's a lot more left to go. We have a lot of windows in here, and it looks really good, pretty much as we intended, and it works pretty smoothly so far. I ended up just stapling the actual padded covering part with Reflectix in the middle to the wood trim piece, and it seems like it's staying up pretty well so far. I'll keep you updated if that doesn't work, but we had like a really strong staple gun and I think that's gonna hold it. It's also really nice because we're using fabric that is waterproof on one side, so the inside of the fabric is a waterproof surface, which will really help with condensation, because I think that'll be a big issue on the windows, and this should hopefully help to kind of keep it in check. But they're pretty easy to put up and put down, and they fit really well. Again, you can still see it a little bit at the top whenever it's pushed all the way down, but that will be covered up on this side by our countertop and backsplash, so that won't be visible later. But yeah, it's going great. Couldn't be happier so far. I have a lot more left to do. I know I'm going to get sick of making these, but for the meantime, the weather's really nice and I want to work outside for a little bit, and I'll keep working on these tonight, but I'm gonna go help Jimmy outside with the water tanks.
So one thing you might have noticed that is kind of weird is that we have 2 freshwater tanks. We did this because we really wanted 100 gallons of freshwater. Natalie and I, we have our dream is to go out and do as much boondocking as possible. So we don't want to have to refill every week. So we wanted at least 100 gallons, but the dimensions of the bus doesn't quite fit a 100-gallon tank. So what we did was we bought a 55 and a 40-gallon water tank that fit perfectly in these 2 areas. We have got some ideas of how to hook these together so that when we run the water pump will be able to pull from both. So we'll kind of get into that more next week, but that's why we chose to have 2 water tanks. Alright, it's a little hard to show, but we finished putting in the 2 freshwater tanks. I went ahead and added 2 straps to each one. These straps aren't supposed to hold any weight, but they're just supposed to prevent the tanks from sliding forward and backwards on the metal rib cage that we built for it. So I was kicking it around as hard as I could, and it feels good. Of course, we'll run some more tests when we actually can put water in it, but we're completely prepared and ready for the plumbing now. We've got our garage waterproof mat set up. We've got the tanks installed. I'm missing the gray water tank. I'm just gonna do that later. I'm just gonna kind of trial run everything with freshwater first. We're gonna be starting that next week. But to wrap up this week, there's one last thing we have to do, and it has been long overdue now. It's finally time to add our cabinet door. We've had it ready for like 2 weeks, but of course the bus has been in the shop, so we haven't been able to do it. The door is ready. I don't even know if Natalie has shown you it yet, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and install it.
All right, so I stained and polyed all the trim pieces for the window coverings, and while I was at it, I went ahead and stained and polyed the cabinet door for the front, and it's totally done. The 3rd coat of poly is done drying, so it's really shiny and looks good. This should match our dinette table, so hopefully it all goes together.
All right, let's dry fit it.
All right, I'm not sure how this is gonna look.
That looks really good.
I like that. Yeah. That fits with like the rest of the build so far. And we bought some hinges and a handle for it. And we're gonna eventually have something so it clicks into place and will stay down while we're driving. But I like that. You wanna put it up, Jimmy?
Let's do it. Neat.
Neat. Ooh, look at that.
It's looking sharp.
Yes. All right. Looking good.
That's looking really good.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I mean, that's good.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Nice.
That's real good.
Yeah.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah. So we finally have this door in. We just need to put some trim to hide this crack up here. But other than that, this front area is done and we have like a nice little cabinet. And it looks really good. I like how low profile the handle is and it doesn't stick out very much, so you don't have to worry about hitting your head on it if you were to walk by. I think my vision for this cabinet is that it might have like some snacks in it, like bags of chips and stuff like that. So it's cool to see it kind of come to fruition. And it turned out pretty good. This particular piece of board took forever to get ready. I've been working on it for a few weeks because I had to do 2 coats of stain on each side and 3 coats of polyurethane on each side. So it takes like 10 rounds of applying stain or polyurethane and then letting it dry. So this took a couple weeks and I'm happy with how it turned out. It's not perfect, but really like it. And it ties in with the rest of the build so well. It kind of matches the dinette. It matches like our dark walnut and white kind of theme that we have stumbled into. So couldn't be happier. So this turned out to be a pretty good week, I think. We started off kind of feeling down about not having our bus for a while. We were kind of stressed out and we missed working on it and being in it, but we got into the groove pretty quickly and I feel like we're back on track now.
Our plan for this week was to only install 1 water tank, but that one just went by so smoothly that we were able to fit in the second one, which is perfect because now we are totally set up and ready to start the plumbing next week.
Yeah, it's nice to have a win, so.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah. We do sincerely appreciate you bearing with us and being patient with us when we miss a video. Thank you guys so much for watching.
We'll see you next week when we start our plumbing.
Bye. Gosh, that's cool. Can I try?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, we got to put the supports in, so it's not totally done yet. Wow, it was a lot less creaky when I did it.
Yeah, how did I do that?
I don't know.
What the heck?
What you do? What are you doing? Let me try it.